So
Boom.
it's a pretty crazy market movement overnight. We're about to get into that. Take a look. Yep, yeah, we're going to cover all those. AJ, GJ, EU, UJ. Yep, we're going to get into most of those. Take a look.
Hell yeah, Texas. What's up, Texas? Snubs. What's going on? So yeah, it is Tuesday, June 16th. Another live trading session, Forex League live trading session. As always, we're gonna pretty much get right into it. For those that are new, this is our Discord chat, just a little navigation. If you guys want to know what each channel is used for, just come into the welcome tab. You could read through, everything in here. Feel free to post your analysis in here. I get a lot of people messaging me on Instagram, asking questions. Post your analysis like we do. Publish it, post the link in here, ask for feedback. If nobody answers, ask again. Just be persistent. This is here for you guys to benefit. So as always, Nick's gonna get started with DXY. We can look. We got some fundamentals posted yesterday. This was kind of before all the movement. I just got a notification. I guess there's some like steroidal coronavirus treatment that got passed or something, which is definitely big news. So we'll see. We'll get into it in a second how everything started to move. But I'm gonna let Nick go ahead and share, and he can get started with DXY, and we'll pretty much get right into it. So let me here, now you could share. That's good. Cool.
Where the hell is this one? Oh, here we go. Okay, that's Zoom. We don't need that. All right, so we're going to get to DXY. Again, it's the dollar strength, guys. Makes up for 80% of all trade, and it is considered the reserve currency of the world. So we always come to the US dollar, DXY here, get an idea of what the sentiment is because, a lot of the market is influenced by the movement of the US dollar. So it's always a good idea to, jump on the 4-hour, see what it's doing intraday. Has anything changed overnight? Is their sentiment still the same? Pretty much just do, fresh analysis every day, every morning before you start trading and see what's going on essentially. So let's go ahead and establish sentiment on the daily time frame, just so we know which direction we've been going in and what we can kind of expect. So we can see this is clearly bullish, large bullish ascending channel. But let's go ahead. So we identified that, right? Very bullish. Let's drop to a 4-hour. We saw this ranging happening. I cover this pretty much every session, but this was Corona news over here. Then the market kind of just ranged after this news, which was a good thing because you want to see dollar stability. So it was bouncing between 101 and 98.5. This was really good. We got some good trades on other pairs because it was giving the market a chance to form a good market structure essentially and present some decent trades. But then as things started getting priced in, as more news developed, we realized that the dollar was kind of overvalued at this area, and it kind of slid off down to the downside towards our monthly around 96 flat. So this is where we're at kind of right now. So this is kind of looking like it bounced from the monthly, right? Push a little bit higher towards this trend line, the monthly ascending trend line as labeled here. And it's coming back down and testing structure. So this is looking like it's an inverse head and shoulders pretty much. I am still pretty much long on this. I'm expecting it to come back at least to the bottom of the range here around 98.5. And it's looking like it's setting up pretty well right now. Again, if this is a confirmed inverse head and shoulders, this should be a really nice push to the upside here. But let's see the opposite. What do we need to see for this to go bearish? You need to see a break of the monthly. I'll make this orange. We need to see a break of the monthly, lower high confirmation with strong bearish setups. That would be enough to then consider that this is really going short, that this has a bearish bias by far. We need to see something like that. For right now, this is looking like a higher low on a lower time frame, so this is looking pretty good. Some bullish volume stepping into the market, so I'm definitely going to be short-term bullish on DXY, preferably. So that looks pretty good. This would also be a 61.8 retracement from this bearish leg, from this lower high to this low, right? That's the fib. And if it pulls back for a retracement, it's a 61.8. So, and right where the 200 EMA is, a lot of confluence in this area. So this area makes a whole lot of sense for price action to get to that. All right, let's keep moving here. You on questions, by the way? What about NCAD?
You're good.
Okay, I just don't have it up. So, all right, moving along. Let's take a look at AU. So this one, It kind of pulled back more than we thought it would. This little structure. All right, hold on. Let me go to the daily first. We'll get sentiment first. All right. So if we zoom out, we're on the daily time frame. We can clearly see this is primarily bearish. Huge bearish channel. Then again, way more bearish volume coming in from Corona. So we automatically can see just by looking at this chart that we have a bearish sentiment on the daily time frame, right? Now this was the lower high before the Corona drop, and you could see price action came right back up and tested this lower high. So this is just a test of the prior high, right at this monthly level, this monthly resistance level. So we are still bearish. This area did not break. If this area broke this monthly and then we got a higher low, testing the monthly as support, that would then be a transition on this time frame, and our bias would then change from bearish to bullish. But for right now, we are still very much bearish. So let's go ahead and check out the 4 hour, see what's going on. All right. So we're expecting a bit of a bounce from this area. We did like that we got this break of support around 0.69. It broke, retested, and then continued lower. We were expecting another lower high, maybe off these MAs, and then some bearish confirmations, bearish setups, pushing price action, hinting at price action to fall from this area. So this would be pretty, it was looking pretty good, but then obviously, you know, we got this huge volume. It's actually testing this, this resisting trend line, was supporting trend line, now resisting, and now we have some consolidation. So this could still drop. This could just be a 4 hour, you know, lower high at this area, in which case we'll be looking for an MA cross. Let's see if we did throw a fib on it. Just from this, I'm not going to use that wick because that's news. I remember that. So from here to here, it's coming off the 78.6, right? So some consolidation is expected at this level, but essentially this is what we could see happen. Get rid of that. We could see, you know, a giant bearish engulfing, cross through the MAs and blow through this 0.69 area. That would be really nice to see. I would then take an entry on that and then target down towards 0.67 for the first target, and then potentially lower if we do see another lower high. But this is looking pretty good right now. I do like what I'm seeing. So like if we, so once this does play out, let's say we do get a giant bearish engulfing that crosses through the MAs, you could drop time frames immediately. Drop immediately to the 1 hour or 30-minute and look for quick retests of this area, right? So maybe like some exhaustion on the back end of a candle. You want to see that, and then you can short. You can enter on that. So that's looking pretty good. This is looking like a really nice setup that's about to happen. So we're just waiting on that. If this does push higher, let's say it just continues higher, right? So price action just pushes, and momentum continues on this time frame. Look for it to get to the monthly before anything else. It's not really, if it gets up to this area, it's not a great area to enter on yet. We need to see some confirmations, either a key reversal, like we did over here, little double top action, or you want to see it break. So if it breaks the monthly, then we're changing our bias altogether. So it could do something like this, right? If it does do this, just wait for this higher low to form. Okay. So that's AU.
Baby.
Hell yeah. The blue arrow is definitely the preferred trade path, based on just how, you know, DXY is moving, based on the overall technicals of this pair. This is definitely the preferred trade path. Okay. So that's AU. Let's keep going here. Move on to AJ. Kind of similar to AU. It's at a key spot. This actually broke through this neckline of this head and shoulders, and it's kind of finding support there. So let's go ahead and jump to the daily. Okay, very bearish, just like AU. Huge descending channel, giant bearish channel, and then this 4 hour trend here broke out of that channel, and then came all the way up to the monthly. But this is still that prior lower high, so this is merely a test of that. It's not, you know, a bullish transition on the daily. You need to see a break of this monthly and then some higher lows before you get that confirmed transition. But for right now, we're on the 4 hour trying to figure out where price action's going, right? So we saw this head and shoulders. This was a key reversal right at that monthly. We're breaking some, you know, support levels, establishing some support levels as well. It actually broke here, came back and retested, gave us a good sign that this is going to continue. But then it kind of stalled and then pushed back up. So again, let's go ahead and highlight two potential scenarios here, much like AU. All right, let's see. So again, we could see a dramatic pullback right from this area. you could enter on. So just like AU, we're looking for a large bearish engulfing, some sort of bearish variation through the MAs, through this neckline again, and you can get a quick retest on this neckline on a lower time frame. So as soon as you see that engulfing, you want to drop time frames, right? Look for a quick retest, and then the drop. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Again, this is the preferred trade path right now, but there's always the potential for both scenarios, right? So let's say this just continues higher, right up to the monthly. You could take like an aggressive scalp off this if you do see like a bullish engulfing happen here. You could take an aggressive scalp. Not the best, best trade. You know, you do want a high risk to reward. You don't want to put yourself in a trade that could potentially have a lot of risk associated with it. And being that we're so close to this monthly, you kind of want to just wait until it either comes up to this area again and then shows us some setups, some confirmations, whether it's going to push higher right through the monthly and then give us a higher time frame transition to the bulls. Then we would look for an entry on a higher low like this. Or it could come back up to this monthly and then start rejecting, just giving us a double top scenario like, you know, over here. It would then be the double top to this. So we got to kind of wait on this. This is definitely a key area that it's at. We'll definitely, you know, kind of paint the picture for the rest of the week if we get some, you know, bullish movement or bearish movement from this current area. So we'll see. But again, all these analyses are posted in Discord, and you know, as things are being updated, we'll be posting that as well. As the market progresses through the week, we'll be posting updates. So no worries. We're just waiting on this one.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's keep going. Moving on to EU. This one's looking pretty interesting. All right. Let's jump up to a higher time frame. Establish sentiment. Very, very bearish. Huge bearish channel, right? So let's zoom in. We saw consolidation here. Let's drop to the 4 hour. Right, so we saw this consolidation again. This is very consistent with DXY, as you know, this was Corona news, and then the market kind of went sideways, which was good, giving the market a chance to consolidate, kind of form normal structure again, and then it finally broke out to the upside. So this is a very strong 4 hour bullish trend here, and then we did find a little bit of rejection up in this area around 1.14. And now it's looking like we're getting a bit of a head and shoulders pattern. You guys can clearly see that, right? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So let's get rid of this. So from this area, we essentially want to see a break of this zone or the neckline, right? So something like this. So especially if the US dollar starts appreciating, starts pushing up, we'll see EU start to drop relatively. So we'll be looking for something like this. A break lower, confirm lower high, strong bearish setups, boom, we're in. Then we're targeting lower towards our weekly. Right? So this trade would make a lot of sense. It'd be a really good trade. About 200 plus pips. Looking really, really good. So this is definitely the preferred trade path. But again, you know, we always want to take a look at both scenarios. If we want to see a break of this level right here, 1.135 for us to then consider long positions. So a push higher, confirmed higher low, and then we're in. That's what we want to see. And then we'll target 1.15. Let me go ahead and highlight this as orange. Boom. And boom. All right. This one's looking pretty good so far. Again, blue is definitely the preferred trade path. Let's just make this cleaner looking. All right, cool. So yeah, it's looking pretty good so far. I like this trade. We've been waiting on this one for a couple weeks. It's kind of just been, you know, it hasn't been showing us too much. After this large push, it didn't really do anything. It did establish some support, but then, you know, more consolidation. And now we're finally getting a pattern. So it's definitely looking good so far. We're just going to follow and look for those entries. Let's keep going on to EJ. Very, very similar to EU. Potential for a massive bearish trade here. So let's go ahead and zoom out. Giant bearish channel, right? Huge descending channel here. Definitely more bearish movement than anything else. Let's go ahead and drop down time frames now that we've established daily sentiment. Okay, so what we can see here is clearly 4 hour, strong 4 hour bullish trend. No doubting that, right? Very, very strong. We did see a bit of a reversal at this major level here, 123.5. And it was a bit of a head and shoulders too. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, neckline, and then it dropped. So like not the cleanest head and shoulders, but still technically one. And then we broke the support right around the weekly, around 121.250. And then price action came back up for a little bit of a double top, pulled back through the MAs, which is a good sign, giving it a chance to form some structure. But from the current level, where are we? Where's price action going? What do we need to see to then get in on this trade? So right now it's looking like it's forming pretty good setups. Like we want to see, this is a nice evening star here. We do want to see a couple more bearish candles, maybe a quick retest of this area, this weekly, before we get in. So let's take a look. We want to see something like this, maybe a lower time frame, lower high, and then we can enter short, something like that. And then we're targeting towards 119.850, which is also the 61.8 fib level. And once price action gets to that area, we'll then reanalyze, see if this bearish momentum is going to continue, and then look for a potential another entry on a break of this level, followed by a retest and another confirmed lower high. So this is definitely going to be a huge trade if we see this play out, right? We want to see these setups giving us some confirmation at this level, get a lower high here, and then we're in. So that's looking really, really good. Again, what's this going to look like if we see this continue upward? It's simply going to be bullish setups from the current level. Then you're going to target this major zone back up at 123.50. Right, but again, the blue trade path is definitely preferred. Just taking a look at the overall sentiment, considering all the factors for this week, the state of the US dollar, and so on. So this is definitely the preferred path for right now. Anyway. All right, let's keep going. Last one is gold. As always, very interesting. Jump to the daily. Super, super bullish, right? Like the most bullish thing you've ever seen in your life on this daily. And
Gold.
man, I'm telling you, man, this thing is just gold is nuts. Oh, excuse me. And then this daily here is the key level. The most key level at current price action is this monthly at 1675. You can just see here it was huge resistance, pulled back, finally broke resistance, and now is testing a support repeatedly, again and again and again. And you'll be able to see a better example on the 4-hour. Whoops. All right, so let's zoom out a second. Again, this is just that level I'm telling you about, that monthly. Huge support. Huge, huge, huge support. Okay, so then let's zoom in. Huge 4-hour trend kind of presenting itself on a break of this descending channel right here. Kind of broke through this trend line, showing some pretty good volume. Came back and tested the 200 EMA, which was great after a pullback of the MAs. Now it pushed through the MAs again and is testing our structure level at 1720. So this is a really, really good sign, guys. Pretty much all we want to see from this level right now, bullish setups. Bullish setups, bullish setups. That's it. And so let me just clear this up. I want to see this happen. If we get above this right here from a bullish engulfing, just call it 1730, we're in. We're taking a long if we see this break, right? If this area, if price action closes over this level right here, 1730 on a bullish variation, that's an entry. That is a clear freaking entry, and I'll show you why. Shows that this is a continuation higher. We had rejection off these levels, bullish engulfing here across the MAs. These are all big confirmations, and to top it off, this is a 2.6 risk reward with your stop loss being below this higher low over here. It could potentially be even lower just to get a 2.0 outside 1695. But again, this is a massive trade. We're targeting 1800. We've been talking about this level for a while, but it's looking pretty good. It's looking like it's about to set up and be a really nice trade sooner than later. So this is gold, looking really great. Okay, definitely long on it. So quick recap, guys, before I pass this off to Angelo. We covered DXY, AU, AJ, EU, EJ, and gold. All right.
Dope.
Good stuff.
Definitely good stuff, man. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen.
Do it up.
And we're going to go over all of the major pairs. So let's take a look.
Yeah.
So you should be able to see my screen now. We're going to start on NU. Let's get set up here. Cool. So yeah, things have been pretty crazy. I mean, this news that just came out around the steroid that I guess improves treatment for COVID is pretty big right now. Widen gains after report on steroidal COVID-19 treatment. I think that the media is gonna fling this around today.
Of course.
This is gonna be
And
a big
speculation. People are always gonna be making trades based on news, so this is gonna be a short-lived kind of event in the market, if you will.
yeah. So steroid cuts death rate among severely ill COVID-19 patients. Dow futures surge over 800 points, obviously. So I'm trying to keep this in mind. I'm not trying to battle against. This is obviously a key fundamental update that's going on right now. So we got to keep that in mind. All the way, and it kind of supports. I mean, on NU, all the way on the weekly time frame. This is how my weekly structure is shaping up. For us, we form this low, lower, high, low. We're back in this area. I marked down some, technicals here. Got this trend line going. We're looking to form our next lower high in this sequence. Right now, I have this red zone marked. That's based on this daily time frame. Very minor, but still something I wanted to drag across is pretty much just this resistance right here, this minor pullback, this support, all support along this area right there. And then obviously, we just rejected this pretty significantly. So just sticking up on this daily time frame, we are pretty much within these two levels right now. We're within this multi-level support, which we're finding a lot of, we're finding buyers at, and then we're within this trend line and this resistance level. This is the daily time frame. We haven't exactly seen any sort of setup, at the moment or anything like that. And by that, I mean, pretty much we haven't seen a bearish engulfing. We haven't seen evening star, some sort of bearish variation. We have seen some signs of reversal. We have this pretty much like doji candle, this like spinning top candle, just indecision at this upper level, and then this huge bearish candle that fell off. All the way down to the monthly time frame. This was what I was seeing yesterday. I was taking a potential, I took a short in this area. Pretty much I had seen a break of structure right here, significantly. We had the retest and then rejection. But this is what I wanted to talk about, with people that were in this trade. And to try to understand it a little bit more is we were at a monthly key level. We're at a monthly key level. If this thing fell, there would have been a lot of volume for this to fall. But look how it held in this zone. It held right in that area. And then we came back and we actually broke now structure. We broke this level. Boom, right here. So we broke that, back kind of to the upside. So we are in an uptrend on this 1 hour, on the 30-minute. We're also in an uptrend. But again, the daily time frame, obviously we broke bullish, but I'm looking for that weekly, I'm looking to take advantage of this weekly move, very similar to this. I'm looking to take advantage of that weekly move. We could have to wait, a little while longer as I come down to the 1 hour and sort of just go back. Sometimes I'll do this, go back to this similar area. Pretty much, what we saw here is we saw structure very clearly start to break and shift right here. And then we had all these lower highs that formed without anything breaking, without any lower high breaking, guys, without any lower high. And we have something like this where we were forming lower highs here, lower high here, lower high here. We popped up on the 1 hour, we broke structure, but then that's when it actually dumped. So this came up, found some sellers, found more orders, and that's when it actually dumped. So I'm not trying to buy at the moment right now. I'm more trying to take advantage of this big selling opportunity that is about to come up. So at the moment, just to forecast an idea, pretty much right now, price would have to break this level for me to just get short right away. We could see some more consolidation up in this area. You know, potentially this forms some sort of higher low and that breaks. But you know, that's what I'm going to be waiting for. So nothing doing right now on NU. Going to have to just sit on the sidelines and wait for that. And think of that in terms of the daily. If this does hike below today to make that, you know, new low, that would mean that this candle closes as a bearish engulfing on that daily time frame, you know, giving us a setup. So keep that in mind, you know, how every time frame sort of comes together. Let's go over to UCAD. So UCAD at the moment, you know, up on the weekly time frame, just talking about structure is even bumps of monthly. You know, monthly time frame had broken bullish. Then we were in this pullback right here. We were taking advantage of all these sells out of the supply zone that I had marked from the weekly time frame. So this was a supply zone. Boom, dragged it across. You know, we were taking sells out of there. Now we're back at this support level, you know, this red zone. We found buyers in that area. And now we're back at this monthly level, back at this monthly level resistance. If we were just to focus on the daily and below, we are in a downtrend. You know, the daily time frame broke these lows, these higher lows, and now we're forming, you know, potentially a lower high at this monthly resistance level right now, or we're just looking to continue momentum. You know, we're maintaining below the moving averages right now, so we're kind of just looking to maintain momentum. You know, as I bump down to the 4-hour, we can also see the 4-hour is looking to make that next lower high. You know, this could be something similar to this. This could be something similar to this, you know, where we're forming moving averages just crossed. You know, we're forming our next lower high variation. You know, every time the moving average is crossed, it could be something similar to, it looks much more similar to this area right here. Boom. So it's like we came down, moving averages crossed, and then we actually hiked back up before inevitably falling. So we could see something similar to that where we come back up to retest. I'm actually going to take a look at this area really quickly, and I want to see, I'll see which time frame really showed us that we were ready for this all to go down. So we'll play this forward a little bit. You know, always take advantage of the replay tool on TradingView. So basically, as this all was happening, let's go to the 30-minute. Boom. So the 30-minute, it looks like we had formed this high, and all of this that was happening, there were no higher lows breaking in this area. There were no higher lows breaking until right here is a very minor, it's actually a very minor break. So this could have been like our little fake out, is we had this cross, pulled back, made this lower high, and we had this rejection break below. We could have, you know, been like, okay, we're going to short here right on this candle, and then boom, we get stopped. You know, that happens. The strategy isn't going to work 100% of the time. But then we got to be mindful of, okay, considering we just came back up to grab more sellers, where is our next selling opportunity? And we would have to wait all the way until this was broken, right? Unless we just aggressively took an entry up here, but that would go against, wouldn't align with my rules too much. But like really, as soon as this broke, you know, I'd have to decide, am I going to take an entry here and put stops, you know, in some sort of area up here? I don't know. It's got to work with, you know, our plan. You know, inevitably, I probably would have waited on this one and waited for the next opportunity. So let's go back to where we are right now. We could get something fairly similar to this. And, you know, we got to be mindful of where is the opportunity going to come. You know, is it going to be on the 30-minute time frame? Right now, we're getting this minor break, you know, right here, right through the 200-day, right through all these moving averages right now. So, you know, there could be a potential order in line on UCAD. I'm going to wait and see how this next hour candle closes because we're kind of coming back to test this level now. I want more rejection of this line. You know, on this 1-hour time frame, we broke below, you know, tested it, broke back up. Now we're testing it again. We need more rejection here. So I'm going to just put an arrow on here. We need to reject this area again. I'm going to move this to orange. We're going to move this up, and that's going to be our premium analysis for everybody that's inside the course. You know, we're going to, inside the signals and inside the membership, I'm going to drop this one in the premium analysis for today. So that's UCAD. Let's go over to GU. Let's take a look at GU. Let's bump up to the daily time frame. And these markets are in crazy places right now. Let's go to the weekly.
Yeah, they're definitely in key spots. Most
And
of
the
them.
point is, though, we have to, we can't create an opportunity. We got to wait until we can see things very clearly in line with what our plan is, right? We don't want to go against our rules, do something crazy. We want to be patient right now.
Trade's got to fit the plan. It's got to fit the strategy. We're not trying to force anything. We're just sticking to what we know and what we see.
Yeah, exactly. So up on this weekly time frame, let's just get in, what is overall structure? I see this low made, pull back, lower high, low made, pull back, lower high. Let's focus in on where are we now. Now we are pretty much pulling back to form another potential lower high. A lot of rejection, off this monthly level right here, monthly level resistance. Ton of rejection coming in. I was saying something similar to this could happen where we surge up to form come into this area, but last week we had a ton of rejection here with this bearish candle closing. So we could potentially head lower, but we got to see. Down to the daily time frame. This is where things get interesting. The daily actually broke structure right here to be bullish, and then we dropped back into this area. And then yesterday closed bullish engulfing, no wick right there. So this thing could potentially head higher. Let's size up. What would be like an entry for me? With UCAD, I was looking to short. With GU, at this point, we could potentially be looking to long. Going along with USD being weak, but I'm gonna see because today with the USD news coming out, we look at DXY. All the way down to the 30-minute, it started to pull up a little bit. The 4-hour is definitely still bearish right now. We really need to break this level.
Yep.
To get more bullish on DXY. We really need to break that all the way up in the daily. We're all the way at these lows. So we need to break above that area really to get bullish on DXY. We'll see. We'll see how that, the USD news plays out. But what am I thinking about for GU? What am I thinking about for GU? Down to the 4-hour. 4-hour is bullish. Potential higher low right here. Like I said, daily time frame is bullish. Weekly time frame, like I just said, is bearish. So our overall time frame is bearish, but these time frames right now obviously don't align with that at all. If we go down to the 1-hour, 1-hour time frame is retesting structure right now. 1-hour time frame was bearish, forming that first higher low on the 4-hour and daily. So the point is, right now I don't see things as clearly as I'd like to on GU. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait and kind of see how this little area plays out. What's holding me is this monthly resistance level and this 200-day moving average. For longs, like I had put earlier, I really need to get back above this blue level, this zone, and before I consider to long. And for shorts, I really need rejection clearly of this level. So we're about to be in an area where we're going to make a decision, for us to go in either direction in this market. I believe that's going to play out, sometime today. So just look out for some updates. I'm sticking on the daily time frame for now, and we'll see how the market moves today to kind of shape that up for us. So let's go down to USEF. USEF weekly time frame has been bearish for a minute. Last week closed with this huge wick. And we're at this weekly level. That's what it rejected, this weekly level support. So as we go down to the daily, this is daily structure. We're pretty much just at this low, had this pullback. We're very similar to this right now. Very similar to this area where we pulled back, rejected the moving averages, but now we're stuck at this weekly level, this weekly key level. So why these levels are key. These levels, this is why we have them there. Down to the 4-hour, we can see structure very, very clearly. We had this low, we had this lower high, we had a retest of the low, we had this low form, lower high, new low, lower high. Now we're at another low. You know, if we bring on our fibs, boom, from our high to our low right here, just adjust that, boom, just that right now. We just rejected 618, you know, which is definitely a key area. If we come in here, boom, drag this across, you know, this was our previous low. It was just retested. That's where it found all these sell orders, and it fell off. So with that in mind, I can go down. I have some confirmations here. The 618, you know, I have this resistance level. I have all of these bearish candles. You know, all these bearish variations are telling me momentum is definitely shifting. As I get down to the 30-minute, you know, where was our first entry opportunity? Our first entry opportunity was right here. I'm just going to take off this fib, clear things up. Actually going to bring that back on. We're going to bump up. So that's our overall fib. So remember, we have our daily fib on here, you know, daily Fibbo. We've been following this for a minute. I'm going to leave that one on here. And we're just going to come back down to the 4 hour. And we're going to look at 30-minute structure. Pretty much, if you want to take entries on this right now, we have, you know, this high was made, this higher low was made, and then we broke this, retest. You know, this was our first real entry right here. Boom, we could have entered on this. You know, we could have put our stops pretty much above these highs right here, you know, and then we'd be maintaining this trade right now. You know, we'd still be trying to get this to our take profit 1. But we're just in the zone. There's a ton of liquidity in here. You know, where would our next entry have been? Next entry, this pullback right here. Boom, this bearish engulfing through the moving averages. That would have been our next entry. You know, where would stops have been? Stops would be above, really above this level right here. Boom. And why is that? That was that higher low that had broken, you know, then it was retested. That is definitely significant. And then we also, for this to be maintained, you know, obviously we came into some profit. Now we're pulling back. For this to be maintained, we need to respect this level right now. Let's bring this on. This now becomes our structure on 30-minute. You know, we don't need to have this anymore. We could bring this back over. This now becomes structure for us in the 30-minute. You know, it's a little supply zone that was formed. You know, put this right here. I'm just going to leave it on the wicks up here. Basically, until this breaks, we are bearish on this 30-minute time frame. That being said, I will wait to potentially enter on this. I'll move this up, you know, very similar to UCAD, looking for shorts. If we get something similar to this, you know, similar to this right here, so bars pattern, if we continue to come up and then we get that cross of the moving averages, boom, let's make this color. So we continue to come up, we get this cross of the moving averages, very similar to that, and then we start to fall off. You know, that's where my entry will be. I will put my stops above this wick right here. You know, obviously price grab that, or like above this level, so around 30, you know, 2 pips or so. And then I'll hop up to the 4 hour and I'll see like, okay, what on the 4 hour, where will I target? My first target will be these lows, you know, down here, or a little bit closer. My first target will be this level, some indecision around this area, around 1 to 1. That's when I'll probably move my stops to break even. And then, you know, then I'll look to get to these lows around 2 to 1, and start to really swing this, you know. So it'll be intraday, you know, intraday move, and then we'll try to maintain structure into that swing trade. So that's USEF. I believe, well, we went over GU already. And then last one that I'm going to go over is going to be UJ. You know, I want to clear this one up for you guys. Very simply, let's do some candlestick analysis. You know, last week we had this bearish engulfing on the weekly time frame. Boom. We are overall in a downtrend on this weekly time frame. We're below the 200-day moving average. That's what we rejected. Just looking at it more closely, we broke this level, this low, made a new low, pulled back, maintained momentum all the way up until we had these bearish engulfings, retested that low, retest this level again. This level is proving to be very significant as support on this pair right now. So we could come back into that level, grab more buyers before heading back up. If we come down to the daily time frame, let's talk about our fib. Fib from high to low, pulled back, moving averages crossed, rejected 88.6, pulled back, rejected slightly below 78.6. That was our lower high that we needed to break to shift structure on the daily. Came down, formed this new low within this fib, pulled back, retested that level. Now we're back at this low. We're still below the moving averages. For us to consider not taking shorts, we would need something similar to this where we popped up, where lower time frame structure starts to shift a little more. Down to the 4 hour, on the 4 hour time frame, we actually just broke structure. So let's just clear things up for us, make things a little easier on our lives. On the 4 hour time frame, we broke this level, boom, made this new low. Now we're pulling back. This is why I was looking for, this was my analysis earlier in the week. I was looking for this pullback to get that next lower high. So on the 4 hour, we're waiting to form another lower high. We just broke structure. We're trying to continue with this overall trend, this daily bearish trend, weekly bearish trend, all those trends. As I bump down to the 1 hour, this thing has just been consolidating. I know on Monday I had said that we could potentially short this. We need to stay below this level. This is the level that we need to stay below. I will only take a short opportunity at this point if price breaks below this level right here. If we break below, and then if we confirm with a little pullback that this level is going to hold as resistance, then I will consider to short this. So we have a little ways to go on UJ. I'm going to update this probably during the day today in the chat, again in the premium analysis. And so we got to be patient. The market is getting crazy because news is released, and as news releases, it can make structure not be as clear. And the point is, you guys got to realize, especially if you've taken a course, if you've done a lot of back testing, if you have a lot of experience, and if you can't identify structure right now, or that doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You got to just take a step back and let the market breathe a little bit. And as structure starts to form, that's when you can step back in and take some entries with confidence and obviously make some profits. So, that's all the pairs that I have for today. I went over UCAD, USEF, UJ. I'll post all of those in the chat, in the premium analysis chat. Like Nick said, we'll try to update some for the free channel. But as always, you guys can come back into analysis from earlier this week. You can scroll up and check out all of our analysis that was posted, our ideas, see how they're playing out, compare them to your own analysis. Yep. Definitely a good thing for you guys to do. If you're struggling right now with your analysis and everything, definitely hop on and do that. And feel free to ask questions, ask questions in the Forex channel, in the public, everything like that. We're going to do a little giveaway. I'm going to post it in the public channel after for all you guys that attended. Definitely get on there and like that post. And so this will be shared on YouTube as always. And tomorrow we'll get back at it again. Remember, we're doing this little sale right now. Premium signals, one-time payment, $149. There's 4 spots left. So if you guys are interested in that, just shoot me a message after this session, and we'll get you guys set up with that sale and everything like that. So thank you guys for the support. As always, it's been fun. I don't know if Nick's still there.
Yep, I'm here.
Oh yeah, Nick's there. So we got Nick recovering over there. He'll be back tomorrow on the video. Absolutely. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow, 9 a.m. EST, for our next session.
Oh yeah, guys. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Peace.